And just from the personal relations standpoint, Chase, like I say, he's an attorney. He's a corporate attorney by trade. He's a real. If you were to talk to him outside of the context of combat sports, you would think there's no way that this dude is a scrapper. There's no way that this guy goes into the gym and gets after it, scrapping down with guys 5-6 days a week. Just because even in his parts of speech, you would think like, okay, this makes sense that this is a corporate attorney when you hear him talk. And then I know though, like, because he keeps it buttoned down, he's a real disciplined guy. I know he said that tonight, should everything go his way, he's going to be celebrating with a nice few cold ones. So I can imagine that is going to let those barley pops taste a little bit sweeter for him tonight.
Oh yeah, win or lose, we booze, man. That's the way to go over here. So, he should celebrate. What I saw from that match was high work ethic. That was high work ethic on display right there.
Absolutely. I mean, an effort that both guys can be proud of, but certainly if you're Chase DeGrood, you're walking out of here with your chest a little bit more puffed out today after a gritty performance and victory like that today. And now for the finale of our four-man tournament. Folks, this is part of what you have all been waiting for. We have the highly anticipated rematch in the finals. Both guys had to win their preliminary round matchup to get to this rematch. You have Benny El Oso Rhoton taking on D'Anthony Muniz.
I'm excited for this one.
And keep in mind, folks, for those who did not catch the prelims, or if you did, maybe just a quick reminder, Benny got in and out pretty clean in that first round matchup, whereas D'Anthony had to go almost the full 12 minutes, meaning the 2 rounds of regulation, 1 full round of overtime, and then secured a finish in the final seconds of the second round of overtime. How much does D'Anthony have in the tank? And how will that fare against the fresh Benny Rhoton?
Yeah, D'Anthony had a war earlier today. He had a battle. It was a big battle, but if you look, he looks confident. He looks calm. This is gonna be a scrap. This is gonna be a good match.
CJJC. First, out of the red corner, representing Logos Jiu-Jitsu, please welcome Benny Rhoton. And his opponent, representing New Era Jiu-Jitsu, please welcome D'Anthony Muniz.
And our finale is underway. From a stylistic perspective, I mean, I know that Benny has his game and has his thought of what he wants to do, but maybe because of that first matchup, the way that D'Anthony had it, do you come out and maybe try to push the pace and increase the pressure right away just to see what he has left in the tank, but also having noted the success that Daryl Gibson had with the pressure?
Yeah, it's definitely a part of the game plan here is trying to pressure him as much as possible, but he's being very patient as well. They're both looking for that opportunity, and it will open up.
And then also, they have experience competing against each other directly, so how much does that prior experience with each other in this exact cage factor into this matchup?
Well, it's a huge factor. If you've competed against someone and they beat you or you've beat them, it's almost pressure for both guys. If you've already beat them, there's more pressure on you because you know you can do it. You know you can beat them. You don't want to lose to someone you've beat because then people are going to think you're not as good as you really are. If you've lost to someone, that's a lot of pressure too because they have beaten you before. Are they better than me? Can I beat them? Those are the thoughts going on in your head.
Definitely some chess going on between these two here.
D'Anthony's doing a really good job of keeping the distance, and He wants him to stand up. He wants him to stand up.
And Benny also being selective with his entries and his opportunities. He wants this to take place where he wants it.
I feel like this is a bigger story than it seems because Benny came into this match starting on the feet, putting the pressure on him, and now he's sitting here in guard. So maybe he doesn't feel comfortable wrestling with D'Anthony. I don't know. We'll see. They're both high level in all aspects of jiu-jitsu, but this is a change in game plan. If you notice, he was very pressure heavy, wanted to be on the feet, and now he's very comfortable being in the guard. He's had opportunities to stand up. He's not taking them. He wants to play guard. He feels like that's his path to victory.
Yeah, and as we heard from his coaches speaking in that first matchup, be patient. Be patient, let him work, and you work off of him.
And that's big. D'Anthony forces the stand-up there, Ben.
And that's kind of a difficult situation when you're trying to play the counter game, but they're not offering anything for you to be able to counter, right?
Frustrating. Very frustrating. Pulls guard straight to the leg. Looks like an ankle lock attack. He gets over the foot, though. D'Anthony gets over the foot. He's going to start crowding him. There we go. Now, here's the question. Is D'Anthony going to engage in the guard here, or is he going to back up?
Arm drag attempt from Benny.
Yep. And there's the pass.
Scrambling like eggs now, ladies and gentlemen.
This has to be frustrating for Benny. He wanted to play the guard. He wanted to be on bottom, and he gets passed here.
D'Anthony transitioning to more of a north-south position here. And just as I mentioned the position, D'Anthony's corner saying, look out for that potential north-south choke. He's transitioned now back to side control.
D'Anthony looks like he wants to shoot that Darce attempt.
Underhook from Benny is creating some issues here.
100%. You want to
Underhook allows him to wrestle back up to the feet, and we're at 50-50 neutral.
Very interesting. Let's see if Benny pulls guard here. It looks like he's willing to engage in the feet now. I think that pass changed his approach of trying to pull guard and play guard.
Well, that pass kind of means that was score going into the tally for D'Anthony. So I think that puts a bit of an urgency into his head that he's got to get some get back here.
Totally. It's almost demoralizing. Like when you pull guard and if you pull guard, you expect your guard to be better. You expect them not to be able to pass. That's where you feel like you're going to catch them. When they do pass, it like drains the life out of you a little bit. But
definitely,
he does not seem rattled. He looks completely locked in. He's listening to his coaches. This is very close.
Yeah, I mean, this is a finale matchup for a reason, right? Like, these are two guys who have cut their teeth in the competition realm and have had years worth of experience underneath the bright lights. They faced each other before. Now, this is a chess match of guys who are at a tremendous level of their jiu-jitsu journey, and I can't wait to see what the next 5 minutes and potentially overtime holds in store for this finale.
Here we go.
One thing that I will say I was impressed by, though, in some of those scrambles and the way that he was at least able to find the entries. Obviously, nothing finished and was completely secured, but in some of the spots that Benny was able to get to the leg. But just as mentioned in the previous matchup, D'Anthony is really creative, and when are we going to start to see him do some explosive stuff like the cartwheel pass that he just attempted?
Yeah.
Little cat and mouse game right now between Benny and D'Anthony.
Benny wants him to come and engage in the guard. D'Anthony does not want to.
Benny came up a little bit tall on that takedown attempt. If he were in that sequence, I feel like he would have been better served to stay a little bit lower with his entry, given that D'Anthony was already tall with his back flat up against the fence. Would have been the perfect opportunity to go for a double.
Yes, I completely agree. He jumps for the guillotine
But now
here.
at the gi,
Yeah, he jumps for the guillotine, and he ends up on top. This match is razor close. A finish would be huge. Is the Darce in? Is the Darce in? And he's got the bicep. I think it might be. It's going to be.
D'Anthony doing his best to try to be able to create space with the hips.
Yeah, 100.
But
He's
the
got
more
the
that
bicep in.
Benny closes that space down, the tougher it's going to be.
He gets to his
with good
belly.
base.
D'Anthony is a warrior, man, and just such explosive jiu-jitsu from both of these guys. That was a tight Darce choke. He did exactly what he should have done. He got to his belly and he escaped. But this match is razor close.
Yeah, and I think the key to that was D'Anthony was able to find Benny's hip right away and be able to extend and create space as opposed to letting Benny continue to crunch down and close the space of the hips, where your head essentially folds over the arm down into your own rib cage. D'Anthony did a good job of being able to prevent that space from being closed. We're halfway into this second round of regulation.
How do you call this right now?
It's really tough right now.
It
at this
is
stage.
close.
I mean, you have Benny with the sub attempts, but you have D'Anthony, who's also had his moments of success in this round, and in the first round as well. You know, it's a tough contest to call so far to this point. Oh, imagine that. Goes for the double this time up against the fence.
Shoots the toe hold, it slips out.
That's the thing sometimes with going for something explosive like that with a slippery limb right now, this deep into the match, it's going to be low percentage, right? Because you're just so slippery at this point. We're coming up on just a minute left in this second round, final round of regulation.
We need a big push from D'Anthony here. He doesn't want to end the round in this position. This is not the time to settle. This is not the time to settle from D'Anthony. I would get up to my feet and start trying to control the legs and try to pass. Just urgency, at least ending on a scramble. But
yeah, with short time left in the round, you've got to try to do something to close out that frame with a lasting impression.
yeah. Very interesting approach here. It almost seems like both of them feel like they're winning. They don't want to make the mistake. Not even make the mistake, but they both feel pretty comfortable here. 10 seconds left. That's a razor close match.
And as we start this overtime round of our four-man bracket tournament, we have Benny Rhoton taking the back of D'Anthony Muniz. And you're saying, Josiah?
This is going to be a huge factor here. Neither of these guys have gotten to this dominant of a position. It's really going to be about if one of them can capitalize.
Solid back control so far with the body triangle and the seatbelt grip from Benny Rhoton. Good job of D'Anthony by being able to get that body triangle to the downside. And D'Anthony is slowly scooting down in the process as well.
I would worry about ending up on my belly here. I don't want to get on my belly if I'm D'Anthony. Good job.
Great positional control there for that first overtime round by Benny Rhoton. D'Anthony did lose one of his hooks, the downside hook in the process. Benny could potentially start to look to clear his hips. However, the down arm for D'Anthony is potentially in jeopardy of attacking the throw.
Yes, totally agree. And he gets that body triangle right back in. It looks like he's scrambling to dig it under. I think he's got it.
D'Anthony is starting to get that rear naked choke. Now, good top hand fight there by Benny Rhoton.
See, this is huge here. This is huge. If he's on his belly, he's in a really tough position, but he gets straight to his back. This is good. Man, this is good jiu-jitsu. This is high-level jiu-jitsu.
Matchup ends up now. I mean, that was as tightly contested as you could hope to expect to see in the finale of this four-man bracket. How will the judges see it, Josiah? I mean, do you have a lean in either direction?
It's so close. It really depends on how the judges feel about D'Anthony not engaging in the guard, if they feel about Benny not standing up. Like, I feel like that's going to play a factor. But if I'm these guys right now, I'm putting my hands up. I'm putting my hands up no matter what. Just
optics, right?
Yeah, just optics. Just looking confident. Who looks fresher? Like, all of these things are factors.
We got the referee's decision for your winner. Out of the red corner,
What do you think led to that decision there? I think it was a combination of the leg attacks earlier on in the match, and then
I think that the takedown definitely helps too as well. I mean, we're talking about very marginal differences between the two here, but I